like to welcome you all back to our virtual symposium. So we had a really nice discussion yesterday, and today we continue talking about how to move towards a true systems approach to reducing food loss and waste from farm to table. This virtual symposium is hosted by Cornell University Department of Food Science in partnership with the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research. It's also co-sponsored by Cornell Atkinson Center for Sustainability, Cornell SC Johnson College of Business, Business of Food Initiative, and by Cornell Institute for Food Systems Industry Partnership Program. Now to quickly introduce your host for the day, Dr. Erin Adalja. So Dr. Adalja is an assistant professor in Nolan School of Hotel Administration, which is part of Cornell's SC Johnson College of Business. Dr. Adalja's research interests include a range of topics on food and agriculture economics. What he's doing is drawing on consumer theory, industrial organization, and marketing to examine empirical questions in food labeling and quality certification, food safety, and agriculture marketing. Erin, I believe with this, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Al. Welcome everybody back to today's symposium. I think yesterday we had a really rich discussion with Martin leading the way in the discussion of food science and technology and how we can use some of the developments in those fields to improve food waste and loss reduction strategies. So what we want to do today is kind of take it, there's actually a lot of good discussion yesterday around new technologies being developed. So we heard from folks like, we heard from folks like Sam Alkane talking about different types of upcycling methodology. We heard from Julie Goddard talking about different types of material science approaches using different types of packaging to reduce food waste. And we heard from Renata and Martin talking about these sort of precision food science approaches to try to model the food loss and waste and find ways to reduce it through improving shelf life, reducing spoilage, and things of that nature. So one of the things that we kept coming back to yesterday that was that we're going to address today is these technologies are all really amazing possibilities for prevention. And then the next question comes in, well, which of these are viable in a market? Which of these can we get consumer buy-in for? And what are these sort of underlying economic mechanisms that may either make these types of enhancements possible or potentially make them not make them viable? So today we're going to spend most of the day essentially moving along the supply chain to talk about some of the economics of economics and operations of implementing some of these food waste and loss strategies. And most importantly, how do we avoid pitfalls? How do we avoid secondary unintended consequences? So this really requires a deep dive into understanding the underlying incentive structure that might exist for growers and food producers, food processors, retailers, and consumers. And we're going to kind of move along that line, and hopefully you'll get a very good understanding of sort of what these these salient concerns are that might come in the way of reducing food waste and loss. So we're going to start out. I'll introduce each speaker as we go along, and I'll jump in between each session. Basically, we're going to have 5 speakers today that are going to speak on these various aspects of food waste and loss. They will have about 20 minutes to present and then we'll leave the last 5 minutes for questions. So I would encourage all of you to take, if you have questions, drop them into the chat as the presenter is speaking. And in the last 5 minutes, we'll scour the chat and try to address some of those questions before moving to the next speaker. And then at 2:30, we're going to have a roundtable with a subset of those speakers where we kind of dig into some additional concerns or additional questions that either arose in the chat or some other discussion points that evolve from the day.